Hey guys, Dave with Moniology here. Hope everyone is having a great day. I'm so excited to be on part 4 of this extended special series in the biotech sector, where we go through our list of about 300 stocks and try to pick out the names that we believe have the best potential upside. So let's have a look at the 10 names we're going to profile today. We'll start with Exobionic Holdings, EKSO. This one looks like it's still in a bit of a downtrend for a little bit longer. It's in the midst of a longer term uptrend. So had a low of 102, high of 477. It's been pulling back here. It's now below the middle Bollinger Band, so you don't want to be buying at this point unless you're bottom feeding. But ultimately, we think it heads all the way down to about 125 and lets these MACDs on the weekly curl around here for a couple weeks. And then ultimately, what you want to see is this bullish wedge break higher to confirm that the next leg higher likely has begun. And then the move towards 5 is very possible. I expect to see this particular line of resistance or become support here on RSI. Why? Because basically, if you just look right here, this is basically the level that RSI was last time price broke out, and that's where I think we'll find support at this time around. We're pretty close to it. But it might take a couple more weeks before we break out here. So, like the long-term potential, but in the short run, still a little bit more downside ahead. 11 Biotherapeutics, EBIO, is one that appears to be on the verge of a run to at least 2, possibly higher. So you see this increased volume, not as high as it was in the beginning of 2016, but it's starting to pick up here. The MACDs are above 0 now, which is very positive. Accumulation is starting to pick up. You're starting to see some green shoots here, and ultimately we're kind of going up and down here, consolidating below $1. But MACD RSI, the momentum has continued to improve. We see a very important indication where we've got positive divergence, where momentum today is higher, or at the same point where momentum was when price was at about 183. So that's a positive development. And again, I expect this one to make a run towards 2 in the not too distant future. ECYT, ECYT, is another one that has had a really nice run from the bottom of 117 towards a high of 655. It consolidated here for a while, couldn't break higher. Now it broke lower here. It's below the middle Bollinger Band, so it's had multiple weeks of consolidation. It's still being accumulated, which is very positive, and it finally has found a little bit of support here on the 50 weekly EMA. What happens here will be very interesting. For me, this is not a buy until it really breaks above this $5 level, and then likely takes the next run higher towards 750, possibly 10 or much higher. So there's a lot of potential. The RSI is kind of in this bullish flag formation, bullish pennant formation. So we'll see what happens here. Does it curl back above 50? It definitely needs to close a week above 50 for this, for me to be more confident in this play. But I think that there's much higher than 50% probability that we have indeed bottom, but I do want to see some confirmation. Keep an eye out for ECYT. Reshape Life Sciences, RSLS. This one has been getting creamed for a while now. It's been bottoming and basing. Now the MACDs are firmly above 0. The RSI is starting to create this positive divergence versus price, which is basically flat. RSI is moving in the right direction, and if you look at the daily and hourly indicators, it's very possible that this one is getting ready for a bounce, and the bounce could be pretty sizable, considering that there is very limited resistance till about $4. Next on the list is Galactin Therapeutics, GALT. This one looks very nice. It started a breakout from 49 cents all the way to a high of 674. Looks like it wants to consolidate it down to about $4, but likely find support there, as well as what coincides to about the 61 level on the RSI, which is kind of that level where we broke out from $2 all the way to $6.74 last time around. So expect $4 to be a very good buy point and entry point, and that's where we will be considering adding a position. Genesis Healthcare, GEN, is one that looks to be ready to break out above a buck, and if it does, the next target is 150. RSI looks very good. It broke out above that 38 level. It kind of back tested it. Can it hold? I think it will. It's holding at the middle Bollinger Band level right now. The money flow is moving in a positive direction. Stochastics look good, and so for us, this is a buy only above $1. First target would be 150, and then kind of one of those wait and see what happens at that point. HTG Molecular Diagnostics, HTGM. This one looks very good. It looks like it had a nice breakout. Now it's in this bullish pennant consolidation, and you want to see this break that 430 level to make a run towards 5, possibly retest that 10 level in the not too distant future. But overall, the stock looks very strong, and so long as RSI stays above that, I'd say 61 level, I think that this is ultimately going to break out above that 70 level in momentum, and that's going to push the price higher in the not too distant future. Immunocellular Therapeutics, IMUC, for those penny stock traders that really want these little companies, this one's worth your attention. The MACDs look very, very strong here, and it's consolidating, but it's building positive divergence here on RSI, even as price kind of meanders below that 25-cent level. For us, if this can break above that 30-cent level, this can make a very strong run towards 62, possibly $1.40. So a lot of upside here if it can just break out of this. I don't know what the fundamentals are. Make sure obviously to do your due diligence, but it looks like there's some opportunity to the upside here. Inspire MD, NSPR. This one looks very promising. It's been in a downtrend since 2015 and much longer than that, of course, as well. But you see this, there's a ton of volume coming in here of late. MACDs are above 0. RSI is creating a very, very positive divergence between price here at 25 and price here at 53. So if this can continue to build, this can make a very strong run. And if this breaks above this downtrend, that's when we get interested for a run towards potentially 156. And it might back test it here, but ultimately that might be the signal that this company is indeed starting a new uptrend here. And finally on this list is KDMN Holdings, KDMN. This one looks very strong with RSI in firmly overbought territory. It looks like this wants to stay here for a while. For us to get long, we want to see this break above $6. If it does, it likely goes into the teens and shortly thereafter. But the one thing I will point out, the volume is kind of decreasing here as we're making new highs. So I don't know if you want to chase at this point, but it's definitely one to keep an eye out for. If it does pull back, it likely does so to the 4 level, and that would be a great entry point as well. Anyways, guys, please check us out at patreon.com. It's kind of like Kickstarters for artists. Help support the work that we do. Where our first goal here is to reach 1,000 per month. It's going to help us hire an editor to release at least 2 to 3 sector videos professionally done a week. Much better than the work that we're doing at this point. We're at 194. So your contribution of $10 or $25 or $100 could go a long way towards helping us reach our goals. Ultimately, the goal is to help you. So we appreciate the work. Check us. Let us know what you think on our new video here. And what we're starting to do here is for those individuals who have premium membership, we will be making posts, and our posts here will be only available to the premium subscribers. So someone asked me about MGTI. Well, here it is. And if you want to have access to it, this will be your opportunity to become one of our very valued patrons. Thanks, guys, for your support. Have yourself a great rest of the week, and look forward to more additional videos in the time to come.